Hello, back again. This is episode 6 of Inside UKFC, the podcast, brought to you today by myself, Stephen Nightingale, promoter and owner of UKFC, and our main matchmaker, Aaron Aby.
Hello, Stephen. You okay?
How are we, mate? You alright?
Yeah, you.
So this is wow, you look like Elton John. So this is
I thought
our mid.
matches my new headphones that keep falling out
Yeah.
my ear, so I had to get a new pair.
Well, you definitely needed new headphones or new ears. So this is going to be our midweek special, isn't it? We're first time hitting our Wednesday night podcast, but we wanted to catch up with the releasing of the fights and get up to date with our fight card on the general fights and the title fights and everything that isn't the Grand Prix, because we've obviously been filling the podcast with the releases of the four-man tournaments that we have on UKFC 20. So I'll hand it over to you and let you get some more fights out.
Awesome. So, fight number 1 we will be announcing tonight. 61 kilogram fight. 2 UKFC veterans. I think probably coming up to over 15 fights between the both of them on the show, which probably makes you be able to guess who they are straight away. And a fight that's been talked about for a long time with the amount of fights they've had the show and their records is Zack versus Alex Gill.
Yeah, both like household names, aren't they, on UKFC? Probably both had most of the fights on UKFC. Definitely a highly anticipated matchup, and one that had been talked about, I think, before in the past, but obviously they've gone round the houses. I think they get on quite well together as well. They have obviously been in the back room so many times together, been good friends, probably message each other about their fights and about their other opponents, and then obviously gone full circle and obviously back to fighting each other. So
Yeah.
I bet they're both excited about that fight.
Yeah, both great guys, both like very welcoming. Obviously, the knucklehead guys are always friendly with everyone, and you know we're part of UKFC MMA now with the knucklehead guys. So obviously, Zack.
100%. Who was Alex Gill not for?
Yeah, 100% as well. Yeah, he's you know the guys we always look to get over, and obviously Zack's had 9 fights on UKFC.
Yeah.
6-3.
He reminded me that the other day. He reminded me the other day when he didn't get the pickings of the tables. He said, "How many fights have I had in this show?" And I didn't get the best tables. I said, "They go on sale. They go on sale. I can't do anything about them selling that fast." I said a lot of people kicked off at me. There were quite a few fighters that didn't even get the opportunity to buy the tables. Well, they did get the opportunities, but they didn't expect it to sell out as fast as it sold out. It literally sold out in 16 hours. All the tables gone.
This will be Zack's 10th fight on the show.
Yeah.
Both guys coming off losses. On the last one, Zack obviously lost to Charlie Bolton, and Alex Gill lost to Aftab Javid.
Yeah.
So again, both big fighters against big names all the time, tough opponents.
Definitely makes
step up against anyone.
Yeah, definitely makes sense for the timing in it. I think that's what's brought these two guys together. They've both been fair apart in their opponents in previous shows, but the way they both headed with the losses in the last fight on the last show, it just makes sense to put them together, doesn't it, at this stage?
Yeah, 100%. Like some of those guys that they come up, you know, like. You see it in the UFC all the time where there's guys like you're like, oh, maybe he'll fight him, and then one wins, one loses, and you're like, maybe they'll fight him, and then the other one wins, the other one loses, and then they're like, finally they're together. That fight I've always wanted to see. The guys are going head against each other. So yeah, that's the first fight of the night, and a cracker to be matched, and like one that if you're fans of the show would have been probably looking forward to seeing. And wanting to see for a while.
I think these knucklehead guys, even though they don't have any fans with them, they've been on our show that much now and on UKFC. So I think they're starting to pick up the fans now So
Yeah,
people are actually the last show was that people were cheering from other tables, other
yeah,
people's fans was cheering for these guys because they've seen them that many times and they see them come up against so many decent gyms and so many. I think they think these guys are for real. So the fans are getting
yeah,
behind the Madeiran fighters, and it's good to see. Really good to see.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's. I need to stop saying 100%, but it's
100%.
yeah, great to see. Yeah, Ian picked up on it and he messages me, all right, 100%. And I'm like, what, 100% sweet? And he's like, no, the amount of times you say it on the podcast.
Has he got you up to 100 times yet?
I
We'll have
reckon
to.
so. He'll probably he'll make a clip at the end of it, just me going 100%, 100%. So the next fight of the night, so at the same weight category, 61. Obviously, this fight is lesser experienced guys. Cammy Oden, I think that's how you say his second name. Do you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Versus Jerry Kirkland from Trident MMA. So obviously, uh, Cammy's from Combat Performance Academy. Trident MMA, they're becoming a regular on the show under Tim Barnett. Obviously,
yeah,
Rob Friedman's always had guys on the show, being part of the show. And it's a 61 kilogram fight.
yeah.
Cammy's record is 1-2, and Jerry Kirkland 1-0. His win was last on UKFC against Thomas Flitcroft.
Yeah, both 1-0 on UKFC, aren't they?
Yeah, both 1-0 on UKFC.
Yeah,
Cammy's lost to Kenny Whitworth on FCC,
yeah.
so a good opponent in his last fight. So he'll be looking to come back for a win, and
Yeah,
Jerry will be looking to keep his O and go 2-0 on a fight at 61 kilogram.
yeah, yeah.
So I'll get on to our third fight, and it's a big fight for the youngsters in the sport. Like two good names, future names from great gyms, and two potential stars of the future. I believe is Jack Grundy
Yeah.
against Michael Shields.
This is a fight we had matched on the last show, weren't it? But I think Michael Shields ended up getting injured, didn't he, on the lead up to the last
Yeah, he
one.
got injured on
So
got
this,
injured on the lead up. He was gutted about it.
yeah,
Obviously, when I spoke to his coach, he was like, "We'll do it on the next one."
yeah, from a good gym as well. Is
So
it
we
Fight Academy? Michael
Fight
Shields.
Academy Island,
Fight
yeah,
Academy. Yeah, them guys
and
always come to fight, don't they? Bring a big team.
yeah, obviously Jack's from Cowbomb,
Yeah, the son of Mike Grundy,
son
UFC
of Mike
UFC
Grundy,
fighter.
UK MMA legend.
Yeah,
Obviously, Jack's 1-1. His loss was a DQ on our show.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Uh, can you
unfortunate,
talk
weren't
us
it?
about that one?
Yeah, I think he didn't really understand the rule set on because he said when I spoke to him in the back, spoke to his dad after, they said they weren't sure on the rule set because some shows allow knees to the head with amateurs. No, we don't. You know, we a lot most of the shows nowadays have had the knees to the head for amateurs taken out, haven't they? So it was just a bit of miscommunication in the back. I mean, Jack Grundy's from a predominantly professional gym. Most of them guys in that gym are professionals, so they'll be training like professionals, you know. So this might be just something that occurs every day in the gym, the drilling to knee to the head and stuff, and it's just something that obviously come second nature to him. He was absolutely gutted in the back afterwards that he just that he'd got it wrong, you know. He thought he could do it and he couldn't do it, so he obviously gave a big knee to his opponent, and his knee, I think his opponent's nose was broken. I think his
Yeah,
nose actually come through his nose. We had to get him sent to hospital and get him looked at because obviously he had to fly home a day or so, 2 days later. So we had to obviously get him the right care he needed, get him cleaned up and make sure he was all right to fly home. So yeah, unfortunate finish to that fight. It was shaping up to be a good, really good fight as well. But like I say, unfortunate finish. So But yeah, big things to come from Jack Grundy. I think, like I say, I don't really know a great deal about Michael Shields. Obviously, he's not fought on our show before, so good to get that same fight back on. They're both young guys, aren't they? Both
Yeah.
from good gyms, so it's
What one
another
I know
exciting.
Michael Shields is as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously, game taking the fight and won in it, and these guys are both for me looking as a MMA like scout and matchmaker, got big futures ahead of them. So
yeah.
it's a good fight and one I'm looking forward to watching. These like almost new breed
Yeah,
of
that's it.
MMA coming through.
It's good to see these guys as well that are willing to step up and fight. You know, if someone says, "Oh, do you want to fight against this guy? His dad's in UFC." Most people nowadays would say, "Nah, we'll pass on that one. We'll fight someone else. We'll fight the other guy who's not had a fight yet, or we'll fight the other guy who's had 3 fights but 3 losses." But no, the Fight Academy guys generally, and quite a few of the gyms that we deal with on our show. That's why we're so lucky. Say no, we want the toughest test for our guys. You know, I want my guys come in and fight that guy because he's going to be a tougher fight, not vice versa. And this is why these guys grow. This is why like I say, we call it the UKFC stepping stones. This is why these guys are coming through our ranks, and the right ones with the right coaches that are giving them the right fights are the ones that are going on to become good level, not just good level amateurs, but good level professionals. So yeah, respect respect to the gym.
I
And him
think
for taking the fight.
we're fortunate in the coaches and the gyms that we deal with that they're willing to take those tough fights, and some of them they end up going on with a 50-50 record, but I guarantee their fighters are better for it in the future and their gym's better for it moving forward.
100%.
100%. So next fight, flyweight fight, a battle between Sahil Khan and Diogo Ramos. So Sahil Khan 2-1 from Combat Performance Academy.
Yeah.
Diogo Ramos, another knuckleheads guy, 2-3.
Yeah, no, this is the guy that we talk about most, about the turn up and fight anybody. Diogo. Diogo is probably one of the hardest guys out there to match. We talked about this on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, whereas we offered this guy to so many people and everybody turned him down. Not everybody turned him down, but most people turned this guy down, even though he was 2-2 at the time. But he just turns up and fights, doesn't he? He turns up and fights anybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't even, like I said, his coaches don't ask me the name really. They're not that bothered. They just say, "Well, what day do we fly?"
Yeah.
You know, these guys turn up and fight. Like I say, he's got an uneven
his
record,
last,
but go
his
on,
last
Ryan,
fight against Christoph.
Yeah, who's again one of our tournament participants, isn't he, for the 57 tournament, 5-0.
And if he was doing well and he wins the fight, he could have ended up in the flyweight tournament.
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But they've both got the same opponent, as in they both fought Aaron Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
So Sahil Khan beat Aaron Lloyd, and so's Diogo Ramos. Mm-hmm. So they've both got a similar opponent, who they both submitted, which makes it a good-looking fight. Obviously, Sahil Khan lost to Kieran Heffernan on Vida Fighting Championships on his last fight, so he'll be looking to bounce back.
Sahil been on our show
lost
before.
His last fight. Yeah, he's fought Aaron Lloyd on our show.
Yeah.
So, but they're both coming off losses and both be looking to bounce back in the win column and get a few wins and push their way towards that UKFC belt.
Yeah, good.
Both young athletes as well, so bright futures in the sport, and
I think
two exciting fighters.
I think I'm right in saying as well that Diogo Ramos is 2-3 and all 5 fights on UKFC.
Yeah, that's right.
On UK soil, that's something else, that, isn't it? From a Portuguese fighter, lives in Portugal. Not as if he's a Portuguese fighter and he lives in England. He's a Portuguese fighter and he lives in Portugal. Lives in Madeira, which is a little Portuguese island, and he's had all of his fights on our show.
Yeah, which, like we've said, knuckleheads have become part of the furniture at UKFC, and he's also got a good win over Nils Gottiem as well.
Yeah, Yeah, that was a great win, weren't he? Nils got him coming from a highly touted Thai background, weren't he?
Yeah,
Obviously coming from a big club again, Carbon. His brother's actually in
flyweight
the
tournament.
tournament, in his flyweight tournament, so he's got a good win over him. I think that was a decision win, weren't it?
Yeah,
For him, yeah. So he knows how to grind out, like you say. He was beating Christoph in that fight as well. Christoph just ended up catching him with a big shot and ended up choking him out with one of his specialities, the ninja choke. So yeah, that's another exciting matchup.
wonder where he gets that from.
Yeah.
So the next fight is another flyweight fight and a backup fight to the flyweight tournament.
Yeah, this is something we talked about in it on the podcast, on the tournament podcast. We did say we promised we were gonna put on a backup fight for each weight category. So what have you
And
got for us?
these two debuts on the show.
Uh-huh.
Will Doyle from Manchester Predators,
Yeah,
3-0.
yeah. We've been
Versus,
watching. We have had our eye on Will Doyle a little bit, haven't we? We've been
we
watching him
have,
in the background. Manchester Predators again are another good team, and obviously they always seem to turn up on our. They always seem to do our shows. Always seem to turn up. Always seem to bring the fights and go home with a majority of the wins each time they've been on the show. So he is somebody we've had our eye on for a while, and especially going undefeated in his first 3 fights.
yeah, and that's what I mean. When you're coming from Manchester Predators, you know he's going to be well-rounded technical fighter.
Hmm.
And he also takes on Jamie Abbott Bisset
Hmm.
from Team Rhino,
So
who
another
is
Rhino.
Nadine's brother.
Yeah, I thought I recognised that name. I didn't recognise him until I heard the Bisset bit at the end, and I thought, "Hello, who's this?"
Yeah. So Nadine, who was our strawweight champ
Yeah, if he's
before
anything
going on
like
to
his
pro.
sister, he's gonna bring the fight, isn't he?
Yeah,
His sister certainly did bring the fight. She was in our last strawweight title fight, weren't she? And now, I think if
yeah,
I'm right in saying she's turned pro after winning the belt on our show, and I think she's
yeah.
signed
She's turned
penned a
pro.
deal with Combat Global, hasn't she?
Combat America, yeah. So
Yeah.
she's signed a big pro deal, and Jamie's experience, he's competed on the IMAFs and everything. He's had 13 fights,
Hmm.
a mixed record, but he's got some big names on his record from different countries. He has got a win over Jamie Small as well,
Yeah.
which is a good win. We all know Jamie Small's a good fighter, so it's a very exciting flyweight fight, and
Yeah. So
both these guys are tournament worthy if someone pulls out.
yeah, on paper then it's a tough fight for Will Doyle, isn't it? But he seems to have made quite short work of most of his opponents up to now. He's been on a tour, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. 3-0 undefeated. So it's another good fight and two potential, if they don't end up getting into the tournament, flyweight contenders.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exciting.
So our next two fights, title fights.
You saved the best till last.
Save the best till last, and probably looking forward to announcing these. And the first one I'll go for is the 74 kilogram title.
So Mr. Morris defending his belt.
So Chris Morris is defending his belt, which is a rare occurrence, amateur.
Yeah. Certainly is on our show.
He's fighting Dennis Fringpong from now moved gyms to Manchester Top Team.
Yeah. So Fringpong we have had on the show, hasn't he? I think his first and only fight he had on our show was actually against one of the Manchester Top Team guys, weren't
Yeah, so he fought against Callum Connor, lost the decision in that fight, and now has ended up moving to the gym.
Yeah, and coming off 2 wins, isn't he?
Coming off 2 wins, so he's 4-2. We know he's a game fighter. He works with his skill set well, and he's always been one who's wanted tough fights Like he's been vocal on Instagram before, like calling out people like Curtis Campbell
Yeah.
and everything. So we know he's game for tough fights. And when I spoke to him about getting in this fight on the card, and I just asked him what his plans were. He was like, "Oh, I think I'm matched in September, but if you've got a tougher fight for me, speak to my coaches, and I'm sure we'll take it." So obviously, I've offered him what seems to be a tougher fight for him and his coaches to take it against Chris Morris. And
it could be one of the toughest fights on the circuit as an amateur at this stage in Chris's career, because obviously, I mean, Chris for us is probably one of the hardest guys to match on our roster, isn't he? And he's, like I say, we've had him at 77, we've had him at 74. He's willing to make the move to 70 as well, depending on where he can get fights at the moment. But there isn't many people coming out of the woodwork to fight Chris Morris when we put his details out, or when we send his name out. There ain't many people biting at it, is there?
That's it. And like Chris Morris, he's one to say, I want this guy, get me any of these tough guys. He doesn't want to fight easier fights. So he is tough to match, and obviously Dennis Fringpong's a tough opponent for him to go up against, and Dennis Fringpong's in that same mindset and that same mentality where he wants tough fights as well, and those big challenges.
It's a great fight. It's a great fight in the both so different in the bodies as well, aren't they? So you've got Fringpong who's very lean, tall, really awkward striker, like good grappler. And then you come up against Chris, who's short, stocky, powerful, like wrestling based. It's obviously going to be a clash of styles, isn't it, on the night?
Potentially a fight of the night, I think. A great title fight at 74 kilograms. Two of the best guys on the circuit in the UK. So I'm looking forward to that, and I was pleased we were able to get that one matched. And credit to both gyms for wanting to fight.
Definitely.
The final title fight of the night.
Last but not least,
61 kilogram fighter. So obviously Jack Axworthy, another guy willing to defend his belt. 4-0 now. He will be taking on another Manchester top team fighter in Leon Williams.
That's a great fight, isn't it? I think, and it's probably the only fight we could put together. Didn't we? We spoke about who we could get to fight Jack Axworthy, haven't we, for a while? And there was a couple of options that we were looking at, and then obviously them two options was fighting each other, weren't they? The two we looked at were fighting each other, and they said, well, we're gonna really have to go with the winner of that fight. We can't really put the loser of that fight in the title fight against ours. It just doesn't make sense. So obviously the winner of that fight was Leon Williams, weren't it? And obviously that he kind of made his own bed.
Yeah, he won the Budo Championship against Kenny Whitworth, which took him to 7-1. So he became the number one name on the list for Jack Axworthy. His last win on UKFC was against Aftab Javid, which is a good win. He is 2-0 on UKFC. And his only loss, Leon Williams, was against Teddy Stringer at 70 kilogram.
Yeah, he was a veteran, and he is a veteran of the sport.
At 2 weight classes above what he usually fights at. And then Jack Axworthy now, who's 4-0. You look at the names on his list. I'll go through them. Tom Wright, Charlie Flanagan, Jimmy Sadiq.
Yeah. 3
big names, 3 tough fighters.
Are all them fights on UKFC as well?
No, they're not all on UKFC. No, 2 of them are on UKFC.
Yeah, two of the 3 then.
Yeah, and then obviously his win against Tom Wright was for the belt in a great fight. Tom Wright is now turning pro.
Yeah, he's just coming off a big win against Conor Walsh. On
FCC for their 61 kilogram belt. So a big title fight and two big title fights that we've just announced on the show, ready for the big 20th show on September 17th.
Oh, we can't wait, can we? Definitely going to be a sellout. Like I said before, the table's sold out in well, we said 24 hours, didn't we? But actually, Yayan went back and worked it out, and it was 16 hours. 16 hours the table sold out
Yeah.
in. So we have just put the standard tickets up for sale as well. So any fighters need to get any standard tickets before they sell out. We're hoping they sell out in the space of the next few weeks. So any fighters want to any standard tickets, make sure you message us, send us your addresses, send us your amounts, and we'll get them out to you in the post before they all sell.
Yeah.
Anything
This
else
is,
before we sign out then?
There's nothing I can think of off the top of my head. Obviously, we'll be hoping to catch up with Dakota soon
Yeah.
and hear her talk about her signing with PFL and what's next for her.
Yeah.
Now her trip in America's been going. Looking
Yeah.
to finish off the fight card. Looking to finish off our 61 kilogram tournament.
Yeah. We need to get her working again, don't we?
We do, yeah.
She's out there training and sunning herself in Miami.
Been slacking, I think. And,
I hope she hasn't been slacking on her training. We don't mind her slacking on the podcast a little bit if she's working hard.
I'm sure she's been working hard training for her PFL debut, and she'll be proud to know we've got some better headphones.
Yeah, hopefully I think she was just gonna. She was waiting for your new headphones to come out before she spoke to you again. So hopefully we'll catch her up. Hopefully we'll catch up with you on episode 7 and let her tell us about her opponent, tell us about her experience up to now with PFL and what she thinks about the show, what she thinks about obviously where she's been training out in America.
Yeah, that'll be great, and then we'll keep working on the show, and we'll hopefully look forward to seeing you guys tune in soon.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
See you later.